Hey Reddit. People who let their mom count to 0. What happened after? Yo, subscribe to support the channel. And share your mom's story in the comments. She reset me to the factory settings. A hard reset, as we called it. She was bluffing. But only the first time. Well, if the comment section is any hint of what happened. She was counting again so you wouldn't run away as she grabbed the wooden spoon. Tried it once. She gave a defeated sigh. Then chuckled. Then she said something like, "You're getting too old. That was the day I became a man. I'll never forget my 32nd birthday. I'm 31 on Sunday. I have a lot to look forward to." Apparently. The chase of a lifetime that ended in a red-hot posterior. She was paddling me with a small, handled wooden cutting board, but it split along the grain and I made the mistake of laughing, so she grabbed a wooden spoon. Wooden spoon impact. Horribly slow murder with a spoon? In my story, my mom pulled out a wooden spoon and hit the table with it to be very menacing. Unfortunately for her, she hit the table hard enough that the spoon snapped and the round part went flying off. My sister and I, 2 years apart, burst out laughing and my mom couldn't help but laugh too. I don't honestly remember her threatening a wooden spoon after that. She started counting to negative numbers. I think mine did fractions. 1/2. 1/4. Yes. Came for this. Bold of you to assume that they are alive to tell their story. Yes. I am actually dead right now. I had my sister's Hello Kitty belt imprint left on my ass. I see this as an absolute win. Pussies. My mom started at 0. 0. Immediately punches you. Badass. I'm gonna count again. 5.4. Hardest thing as a parent is following through on punishing these kids you love more than anything else in the world. 3. 2. 1.5. 1.25. 1 1/8. My ears are still ringing. Seriously. I got a minor case of tinnitus. 100%. It was my grandma, because mom didn't give warnings like that. Grandma is tiny. So we didn't worry. Normally we would step in line at 2. Once. Around 13. I decided to stand my ground and her little arm made contact with the side of my head with the speed of a timber rattler. That day was rough. We learned that running from her was much more effective. Then. She learned that we were not worthy of warnings. Just say MAWP. I'll never know. She got to 7 and, being the resident smartass, I said, "Oh cool. Showing off again. Mom, that went real well for me." I think it was a fair enough question. Seriously. What number was she aiming for, or what number did she start at? Oh lord, she comin'. I'm just piggybacking off this comment because it was literally an oh lord moment. My mum is quite deaf. About 85% of her hearing is gone. Well, around the time it first started to fade, she was in a foul mood. She screamed at me to tell my cousin to come downstairs and come and eat. As I turned and said, "Okay," and she could not read my lips, I just heard her scream from behind me. I said, "Go and get your cousin." As she opened the freezer door, pulled out a frozen loaf of bread and launched it directly at my head. I woke up about 90 seconds later with her sobbing on top of me and with a pounding headache. And she never hit me again. We also got McDonald's after. Half of my respiratory organs were destroyed. Plus ultra. Punctured lung. I woke up in the back of a wagon heading to Skyrim. Hey, you're finally awake. Everything goes black and the last thing I see is my mother's slipper speeding toward me. It's funny how they can make getting hit by fuzzy pink slipper feel like getting hit by a Mack truck. Ah, la chancla. She smiled and embraced me. "You've passed the test," She said, "You are a man now." The next day I woke up and I was a plumber with 20 years experience. Did you befriend a royalty with bunch of chain-smoking tiny guys with mushroom hats afterwards? Not my mother. Bekua say she rarely disciplined me and my siblings. But my grandma, oh no. When I went to 0, I got her classic little old Asian lady move, a sock filled with pennies thrown at me at speeds I never thought possible. Shiz hurted. Every time your kids swear out a penny in your sock and soon you'll have a weapon to be. That sounds straight up prison-style beating. She's currently on 1,125,899,906,842,624. I'll let you know if she ever gets there. If anyone needs a reference. That's 1/250th. If your mom counts one number every second. And has been halving the fraction each time. She hasn't even been counting for a full minute yet. This is Reddit. Not a Ouija board. H. Deleted. Having your full name being said is terrifying. Even more when you are Latino and have 4 names. It just lasts longer. She yelled my name real loud. And Daddy said, "Why don't you ever do that for me?" You know what a Switch is. And I'm not talking about Nintendo. Explain. My uncultured asshole doesn't know. Moms never get to 0. There's fractions out there you can't even imagine. 1 and 9/2. My mom went from 0 to 60. In 1.9 secs. Weaklings. My mother would count after I was already whooped to give me time to stop crying or I'll be whooped again. Stop crying. Or I'll give you something to cry about for real. The Big Bang. Isn't that how you were made?